Well, hello everyone, it is I, your favorite perfect being, Cell, and I am back with another reaction. Unfortunately, 18 can't join us, she's still feeling a little ill, but she did say she was rooting for Spawn. Today, we are reacting to another death battle! Ghost Rider versus Spawn! Everybody make sure you kamehameha that like button, spirit bomb that subscribe button, have a perfect day, and check out Death Battle's original video in the description below. Be sure to check out Death Battle themselves as well. They make some awesome videos. Once again, everybody kamehameha that like button and spirit bomb that subscribe button. Have a perfect day, and let's get that perfect reaction started, shall we? One last thing, be sure to check out Operation Mitosis. We're going viral. These memberships help support the channel. Alright, this is gonna be an awesome death battle. I can't wait to see what happens. Here we go. Here we go. Alright, Ghost Rider. We're watching the whole thing as always, y'all already know.
Ghost Rider versus Spawn.
I want to see them stats.
Versus the Dark Angel of Armageddon.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
I don't know as much about Spawn as I do Ghost Rider. I love Johnny Blaze.
Who would win a death battle?
Alright.
Johnny Blaze has always
Johnny
been a man
Blaze!
possessed.
That's my
chasing
boy!
The thrill of certain doom by performing
Flaming motorcycle, flaming
Following
hand.
the example of his adoptive father, Crash Simpson.
Until the day Crash lived up to his
Giant
name
chain.
and got cancer, heartbroken, and without enough Wampa fruit to save him, Johnny turned to the only thing that could: chemotherapy.
devil.
Yeah,
To
unfortunately.
cure Crash's cancer, Johnny sold his soul to Mephisto, king of the 8th layer of hell.
But it was a
Only for
beautiful
Crash
story,
to
though.
actually live up to his
Like,
name right
men did
after.
it for
Instead of
heroic
scooping up
reasons.
Johnny's soul, Mephisto had something else in mind. He bound Johnny to an instrument of divine wrath, Zarathos, the spirit of vengeance.
So
Oh.
Johnny Blaze lived up to his name and burst into Hellfire, an undead
Hell
skeleton
yeah!
biker with a sick-ass hug, the 5th scariest Nick Cage performance, the stuntman from hell.
Man.
He called himself
Ghost
the
Rider!
Sorry, Johnny, that name's taken.
Okay, then how about the Ghost Rider?
Sure,
Man,
we
they put
definitely
Gas-
didn't
they
forget
put
that we named the
Casper
character the
and
same thing
Beetlejuice
only
up
5
in that
years
bit.
earlier. All you.
They
The
put him
Ghost
up
Rider
there.
was bad news for
Hey,
Earth
yo,
sinners and
they ain't
scumbags.
wrong, though.
He's strong
Yo,
enough
those
to
two
pull
some
down
of my favorite
skyscrapers,
ghosts.
blow up mountains, and cause earthquakes that can be felt across whole countries.
Don't even think about fighting back. He can
Yo,
remake his
that
whole body
penance
from the
stare,
hellfire
though.
that engulfs
That's
him,
crazy.
making him immune to all physical damage. Only holy weapons that target his soul can harm him.
It's not just his
Oh.
body. His whole arsenal is hellfire. Ghosty
So
can
holy
rain
weapons
anything
can
you can
damage
think of,
him.
from an infinite stream of
Good
chains,
to
a
know.
shotgun packed with fiery rounds,
But
or a
can he
flaming missile
regenerate?
barked right out of his mouth.
That's my question.
Life goals.
And he can imbue other objects with hellfire.
Wait, he got
such as
regenerative
his
healing.
hell cycle.
All right, that'll be a fun match.
This badass bike
Hell
can
yeah.
outpace Thor's hammer Mjolnir, which can cross the universe in seconds.
Hellfire is a weapon in and of itself, whether shot out of his hands, raining down from the sky, or released
Yeah.
from his...
His
Wait, did he-
boner, Wiz. Get it?
Did he just...
And it doesn't just
He
scorch
did,
flesh.
didn't he?
Hellfire is so deadly,
Man.
it can burn away your very soul.
This technique would be mastered
See?
by Johnny's successor, his own brother, Danny Ketch.
Oh yeah, Johnny's not the only Ghost Rider, and Danny was the first to master their most famous move. You know, the one that burns your soul to smithereens with just a look, the Penance Stare.
The penance stare inflicts upon its victims every ounce of pain they ever wreaked upon others. Every cruelty, no matter how
Yep.
small or righteous, is reflected back. A
Yep.
biblical punishment.
Obliterating your soul. It even works on other Ghost Riders, like when Johnny and Danny got into a staring contest and Danny actually depowered Johnny.
Eyes are windows
Wait,
to the soul,
Johnny
so
got
the Ghost
depowered?
Rider must be able to match his victim's gaze for the
Damn.
penance stare to work. Some people have survived it, like the Punisher supposedly because he didn't regret his actions, but it did work on him on other occasions.
Well, Johnny can adjust how deadly it is, and it doesn't necessarily have to kill you. He can use the stare to read minds, force you to confess info, or just show you the error of your ways.
Remember, the Ghost
Damn.
Rider is 2 souls in 1 body, with the kinder Johnny battling the demon Zarathos in a war of control.
Classic
Oh, so
Faustian
that's how it
bargain.
go.
All the power in the world, but if you want it, it uses you. Because if Johnny gives in, the demon's full might will take over, and then everything is screwed.
Zarathos' strength is boundless. He can open up portals between dimensions,
Okay.
control the elements, pen and stare an entire city, and fly all
Damn.
the way to Asgard, which is a literal infinite distance away.
He's manhandled
that's
some
true.
of Marvel's heaviest hitters, like
But
Thor,
instant
World War Hulk,
transmission be a
and
thing,
Doctor
man.
Strange. Hell, Strange said Zarathos is a threat to all realms, mortal and immortal.
Hyperbole? Think again. The
Oh,
Archangel
that's
Zadkiel
fun.
said that the power of the Ghost Rider could threaten all
Once
of
again,
existence.
I wanna
and
fight
even
that.
bring down heaven itself.
Right before an army of Ghost Riders did just that. Yeah, an army. The spirits
An
of vengeance are legion.
As far back
Like
as the Great
the Red
Flood,
Ribbon Army?
humans have been
Maybe
bonded
the
to
Ghost
the
Rider
vestiges of God's
army
power to
needs
act
to go
as his
versus the Red
divine
Ribbon
wrath
army.
on Earth.
Hey, yo.
A sort of heavenly black ops.
Okay, wait, does that make Zarathos an angel now? Or is he still a demon?
Both? Neither? Despite being one of the greatest entities in existence, it's unclear. What we do know is that ages ago, Zarathos feasted on souls and battled Mephisto for rulership of his realm. Mephisto, ever the trickster, claimed victory and gained control of Zarathos forevermore. Hence how he could bond him to Johnny.
But Zarathos got his revenge against that big red bitch with another Ghost Rider, Alejandra Jones. Bet you wish you had one more day to fix that hole in your chest, huh?
Comic book fan punching bag
Damn.
though he may be, Mephisto is unbelievably powerful. A battle with him could cause omniversal Armageddon, fitting as his fight
Okay.
with Galactus rents the cosmos asunder.
And Galactus' fights can destroy all of Marvel's infinite multiverse. That's the
Well,
kind
what do
of
you know?
awesome power at Zarathos'
Something
disposal.
else that can
Total
destroy the
cosmic
universe in an instant.
annihilation.
So it was no
Hey,
surprise when
I
Johnny
wonder
went
if I
down
might
to the
be
underworld
something
and
like
took
that.
Hell's throne for himself, usurping the devil that ruined his life and finally grabbing destiny by the handlebars.
Could
Scoring
be.
the total power of hell itself, plus a sick-ass upgrade, the Damnation Stare, which skips the whole every pain you've ever inflicted thing and just sends
Wait,
you straight
what?
to hell. No shot.
As they say,
Damn.
though, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. Johnny began an
Yep.
obsessive crusade to capture all of Hell's escaped demons. But by using his new power to damn them to hell, he began absorbing their evil, feeding on
Oh,
it,
no.
and it corrupted him. Once again, Johnny
that's
Blaze
how
was a
it
man
works.
possessed.
In
Okay,
truth, Johnny was
I
just
wonder
as
what
trapped by
happened to
Hell's
Johnny.
power as he'd always been, and he needed Danny's help to pull him out of the darkness.
Though he gave up Hell's throne, the Ghost Rider continues his war against demons without and within, mentoring his fellow Ghost Riders in the ways of vengeance, always
Hell
prowling the
yeah.
highways for the evil and the profane.
An unstoppable engine of judgment that, with just a glance, could make Galactus himself shit his pants.
Maybe
Hell
one day he'll
yeah.
find salvation in the eyes of one of his victims.
Cause they sure as hell won't find any in his. If Al Simmons was one thing, he was a killer.
A lieutenant
All
colonel
right.
in the U.S. Army and the CIA's
this
most
fun?
decorated assassin, Simmons
All
upheld
right.
democracy around the globe at the barrel of a gun, painting the third world in red, white, and blue, but mostly
Okay.
red.
Until his final
Damn.
fateful mission when, per his boss's orders, Al was fired.
The burning was only getting started because
Yo,
Al's
that ain't
immortal
right.
soul was on a one-way trip to hell.
Where he cut a
How the
deal
hell?
with Malvosia, the big, naked lord of the 8th Circle of Hell.
By their
The what
pact,
now?
Simmons would be reborn a Hellspawn, a superpowered commander of Hell's
The what
armies,
now?
in exchange for seeing his wife one more time.
Oh, buddy, you're just asking to get monkey's bud.
Al
I mean,
Simmons
for real.
returned from the dead as a decaying zombie 5 years later,
Oh,
after his wife
damn,
had
man.
already remarried and had a daughter.
There, you saw her.
Damn.
Now get back to work, bitch.
Thus was
Yo, I'm
born
sorry,
the
Spawn,
undead
but-
warrior from hell itself, Spawn.
I feel like he.
He's so 90s that he goes
Damn,
all
Spawn,
the way
I
back
feel
around
like
to being
even
the coolest
Deadpool
thing
got it
ever.
better than
Look
you, my
upon
dude.
his edge wizard and despair.
Spawn would violently defend New York's downtrodden, while slowly uncovering the full breadth of his demonic powers.
He's
Damn.
like a walking superpower encyclopedia. He can fly, teleport, turn invisible and intangible, move things with his mind, make force fields, control the elements and the weather,
Okay.
and even stop time. Speaking of time, he can fly so fast, he literally breaks into other dimensions and smashes time as a concept.
He can
what
manipulate
now?
matter,
How the hell?
shape-shifting his own
You
body,
don't
or
smash
transmuting other
time.
objects and people. He can even control and absorb your soul.
Wait, Wiz, if he can rearrange molecules and crap, why doesn't he just fix his uggo face?
Well, he tried to do that, but Malbolgia cursed him so that he could only make himself.
Oh.
Oh, it's petty trolling like that gets you a throne in hell.
To be fair, Spawn can achieve a similar result with illusions and mental manipulation. He can read and control minds, implant and replace memories, or simply drive you mad.
Spawn
What
can
the
do
hell?
all this crazy shit because he runs on necroplasm. Basically, hell juice.
You're not
What
wrong.
the hell is hell
Necroplasm is
juice?
the energy that makes up hell itself. Al's undead body is composed of 400 pounds of it.
He can wield it like an energy blaster empowered by the sins of
Okay.
others. Spawn can absorb your evil and feed off of it. By simply walking on Earth, Spawn
I mean,
feels
I'm not
all of
really that
humanity's
evil.
pain all at
Yeah.
once.
He's even absorbed
I
the
just
sins of
drank
8
a couple of
million New
towns,
Yorkers instantly,
destroyed a
cleansing
couple
them
of
of their
islands.
evil.
Like Jesus?
Or he can do
Medias.
the reverse and make you experience
I mean,
the
the
full
medias
weight
weren't
of your
so
own
evil.
sins, feeling every bit
They were
of
just
pain
in the
you've
wrong
ever
place at
inflicted
the
on
wrong
others
time.
over your whole life.
Like some sort of penance.
Though Spawn's necroplasm comes with a catch.
Yeah, he's got a limited amount of the stuff, and it drains every time he uses his powers. If he runs out,
Oh.
he's dragged back to hell.
Even depowered,
Damn.
Spawn can rely on his elite military training in hand-to-hand combat. He's even fought Batman to a standstill.
And as
Oh, really?
befits his past profession, he loves his big-ass 90s guns.
Though
Yo.
his greatest weapon is the sentient being he's genetically and spiritually bonded to, his cloak. Letha of the
Wait,
7th
huh?
House of K.
You ever wonder why his cape's red? Nope, well, now you are, and it's red because it's made from the apple Eve ate in the Garden of Eden. It's
For
literally
real?
made of original sin. Oh, and also the souls of a million sinners, including every one of Hell's victims. Also a touch of vampire for good measure.
K7
Well,
Letha
damn.
is constantly evolving. It can act independently to defend Spawn with an infinite stream of chains, transform into weapons, or drain people of their power. It is the most
That's
potent
crazy.
weapon Hell has ever created.
It even helped Spawn beat the primordial dark god Urizen, who can destroy and eat your soul with just a glare.
Except the souls bonded to Spawn acted as a buffer, allowing him to survive.
You'd think with an arsenal like that, he'd be unstoppable. But Hellspawns have a weakness to holy weapons and can be killed permanently if
So
decapitated.
kind
by
of
one.
like
Though
Ghost
Spawn
Rider.
has
I see
managed
why
to
you've
survive
had him
this
up
in the
now.
past. No, Spawn's greatest weakness is his own. How do I put this? Stupidity.
So Spawn fought this angel lady, Angela. Great name for an angel. She
Yeah,
had this
right.
dimensional lance that could wipe Hellspawn out of existence, and Spawn got it. But instead of, being cautious around a mysterious angel weapon that hurts him, he
Well,
just
what
had
do
to
you
push
know?
the big shiny button and activate it on
You don't
himself.
push a big
And
shiny
so
button.
Spawn was
You-
forever
you never
destroyed
push a big shiny
until
button.
he reconfigured
don't
reality to
do it.
undo his own inexistence.
That's
There we
always
are,
a
good
damn
as new.
trap.
That has to be the first time we've seen someone accidentally kill
They
themselves
never learn.
and survive.
On his quest as Hell's greatest warrior, Spawn has defeated a serial killer ice cream man, a demonic clown, and even his old boss remade by Heaven into an anti-Spawn. He's even encountered other Hellspawn.
Killing bad guys might seem counterintuitive if you work for a Hell Lord, but it actually just adds more souls to Malbosia's army. An army
Well, what
Spawn
do you
would have
know?
to lead in a war with Heaven that'd kill all of humanity.
Because the reason Malbolgia chose Al to be his commander wasn't that he was some great warrior. It was because Al had proven that he was the best at taking orders.
All his life,
Well,
and
damn.
on his death, Al was nothing more than a hired gun.
But he knew it, and he would do so no more.
So Spawn
Yeah,
marched
that
down to
ain't
hell
right.
and ripped Malbosia's head off with a scream so loud it echoed through all of reality. Spawn became the king of the 8th circle of hell.
As king, Spawn is literally a part of Hell itself, gaining access to an unlimited pool of energy that increases 100-fold with every heartbeat. He's effectively omnipotent in there, and strong enough to challenge other Hell Lords like Mammon and Satan.
He got so strong, the only thing left was to finally resolve the war between heaven and hell.
But Spawn
Wait,
needed
how
help from the being who created this god and Satan to begin with, the mother of existence, Gaia.
She wasn't cool with her kids being total assholes, so she appointed Spawn to be the universe's savior.
By eating the fruit from the Tree of Life, Spawn became truly divine, capable of battling God and Satan in a stalemate for eternity that extinguished all life on Earth.
And each of them are powerful enough to create and control infinitely sized universes.
Spawn
Wait,
broke
how-
the stalemate.
how
by
the hell
letting
is
God
that
and Satan
way?
Destroy him.
Where
only
do
for
they
Gaia
got
to
that
separate the
powers
two
from?
the
That ain't
reality
right.
they threatened.
Then, just like that time
Man,
with the
we
Lance,
had to
Spawn
train and be
respawned
biologically
and recreated the
engineered for
Earth.
all this.
Poof, good as new.
Finally freed of the weight of heaven and hell, Al asked to be reborn as a human. But he knew in his heart he deserved to carry on his undead penance in perpetuity.
He's a
Well,
creature
damn.
of the 90s, Wiz. He won't be happy unless he can angstily brood over the injustice of his own existence.
Though if you threaten the alley he calls home, beware, because Spawn will turn whatever's left of your life into a living hell.
Okay, so that's
All right, the combatants are set, and we've
all
run the
right.
data through
So
all
that's the
possibilities.
story of
It's
Spawn.
time for one hell of a death battle!
Now that we got the stories of them both,
Nights like these
it's
drive
time.
men insane. Brimstone in the air.
I think it's
Something's
time
coming.
for the
If it
battle.
wants a piece of me, there'll
Ghost
be hell to
Rider.
pay.
Go back to the pit you squirmed from, Hellspawn.
Make me.
All right, both of these regenerate. I can't wait to see how this goes. I love it whenever Ghost Rider rides the motorcycle up the damn building,
It's
though.
nothing
That's wild.
personal. Vengeance calls.
Sloppy, you fight like a bum.
Hell yeah!
Your damnation.
Well, very wet. All right. Wait, did he just? Is he coming back as a giant, or how does that work? Ghost Rider's going with him. Okay. Froze time. Destroyed it.
Be damned.
Came back as giant Ghost Rider with blue flame. Hell yeah. Breathing fire. It's great.
The vestments of the holy cannot disguise your wickedness.
God forbid.
Ha.
Al Simmons, your sins are innumerable. I am here to wreak vengeance upon your soul.
Damn.
I eat sin for breakfast. Have a taste of your own goddamn medicine.
Oh shit.
He's the Prince of Lies. Wait, I'm an innocent.
Oh damn. What? Did he just snatch the
It's
damn
like you
skull
said,
off his
nothing
face?
personal, asshole.
Ain't no way. Just snatched the skull right off this man's
Literally,
face.
this was a nail-biter of a battle that pitted Ghost Rider's immeasurable power against Spawn's skill and versatility.
I don't
Let's
know
break
if
this
you
down
can
into
actually
4 categories.
destroy
First up, power.
his
Divine
skull and
Spawn
take
could
it
match
like
God
that,
and
but
Satan,
okay.
Who could create universes similar in scale to Ghost Rider's bouts with a lot of the
That
powerhouses
is
in
like
Marvel.
But
given
Zarathos
through a
was
contract.
different.
I don't know if you
Remember,
can
his power
invoke
can
or
match that of
remove like
Mephisto and
that.
Galactus, who can threaten all of Marvel's
You
infinite
kinda have to
cosmic
take it up with the one
reality, far
who
greater than
set
any
the contract,
cosmos
I
Spawn
think.
has ever affected. Even though Spawn's battled and defeated Satan in more recent comics, implying he's retained a level of power similar to his divine form, he couldn't match Zarathos in power alone.
Ghost Rider
Yep.
may take power, but remember, Johnny actively resists
My boy got the
Zarathos'
power!
influence, so Spawn may have had time in the fight
What'd
to
I
learn
say?
and adapt to Ghost Rider before he went full Blue Fury.
And Spawn definitely had the edge in skill. He spent decades in military combat and is a master martial artist, whereas Johnny
That's
more
okay.
so relies on his invincibility.
The ultimate dream power for a stuntman. Even with his crazy powers, Ghost Rider was a lot more direct than Spawn, pretty much entirely focused on attacking the soul.
Which doesn't bode well for his versatility. Spawn
Hell
can
yeah.
stop time, manipulate matter, turn intangible, control minds, warp reality. The Ghost Rider had a much more limited arsenal by comparison.
I'll admit he
Spawn
is a
had
little limited
huge
on
advantage
that.
in this category.
Damn.
So with his invincibility, way greater power, and the ability to scorch your soul to nothing, Ghost Rider could score the win through brute force, right?
Not exactly. The last piece of the puzzle is their resistances. Basically, who was harder to kill. Spawn's constant mainlining of humanity's collective sin and pain meant he could survive attacks on his soul, including the
Oh,
penance
damn.
stare, just like he resisted a very
I was
similar
hoping
attack
on
from
that to
Eurus.
be
Best of
Ghost
all,
Rider's
remember the time
final
he rewrote
piece
reality
that
to
got him the
undo his
win.
own inexistence?
Oh
There
well.
was nothing the Ghost Rider could do to overpower that. And that time with the lance wasn't planned, it was purely instinctual. He could replicate it
Oh.
any time he wanted, like in his fight with God and Satan.
So how do you put Spawn down for good?
Damn.
Well, you can't. At least Johnny and Zarathos could.
Unlike how Ghost Rider's soul has been vulnerable to attack before, like when Danny used the penance stare to depower Johnny.
This sort of thing
Oh,
actually
shit.
happens a lot, even in recent comics. The whole reason Johnny and Zarathos are bonded in the first place is because Zarathos' soul was manipulated by Mephisto.
And not only does Spawn have plenty of experience manipulating souls, he can replicate the effect of the penance stare itself.
And just
Oh,
think
that's
about
wild.
that. A penance stare on Zarathos would mean he's feeling the pain from every penance stare that he's ever done. A penance squared.
The damnation stare, on the other hand, actively helped Spawn, sending him to hell where he gets
Okay.
a literal infinite power boost.
And it wasn't just Spawn's soul powers that had spelled trouble. He had other ways to bypass Ghost Rider's immortality too, like transmutation, rewriting reality, or just straight up stealing his powers, which has worked on multiple Ghost Riders in the past.
Giving Spawn the final edge. Zarathos was almost unbeatable, a
Okay.
massive power advantage, soul destruction, immortality, but Spawn could counter everything thrown at him, and was too unkillable for Zarathos' strength advantage to matter in the long run against his crazier abilities.
That was one hell of a fight, and at least Johnny went out in a blaze of glory.
The winner is Spawn.
Next time on Death Battle.
What do we got? Was that Kaneki? No. Shigaraki
Subscribe
versus
and join us remember to see more
Mahito!
Death
My
Battle.
Hero
Thanks for
Academia
watching.
versus Jujutsu Kaisen, everybody! If you want to see me to react to that, let me know. I hope you all have a perfect day. Kamehameha that like button and Spirit Bomb that subscribe button, everybody! Make sure you check out Operation Mitosis. We're going viral. It really does help support the channel. I hope you all have a perfect day, and we'll see you all in the next one! Goodbye, humans!